Hello class, this is your self-defense instructor, Joseph Sellis, and today we're going to go over tactical pen training. Okay? So let's talk about what a tactical pen is. Any pen can be used as a tool or a weapon. Tactical pens have been developed because they're made out of typically aircraft, aluminum, stainless steel, so on and so forth. There's a grip added to it so it doesn't slip out of your hand. A glass breaker, sometimes you'll see a glass breaker on the opposite end of the writing portion of the pen. And that's pretty much it. Okay, so in all intents and purposes, a tactical pen is a pen. Therefore, making it legal, not illegal, making it legal in 50 states. So you can carry your tactical pen almost anywhere, okay? You can bring it on an airplane, okay? You can bring it to work, so on and so forth. Why? Because essentially it is a pen. It doesn't have an edge to it, okay? And what is an edge? What do I mean by an edge? This is a folding knife, okay? A folding knife. Typically speaking, here in California, double-edged blades are illegal if they are bigger than, I think, 2 inches long, okay? This is a single-edged weapon, edged tool. So one side of it, okay, is flat and dull. The other side of it is sharp, okay? This is considered a weapon, and you cannot take it to a lot of different places. There are a lot of rules about this tool, about this weapon, about this knife, depending on what city, what county you go to in the state of California, let alone all the states and all the counties and all the cities in the United States. Just be aware of that, okay? This can be illegal depending on the length, depending on how the blade is shaped, depending on how many edges there are on the blade. Okay, so there's a lot of things to think about here. Learning to use an edged weapon or a knife can be challenging, okay? Most people are very intimidated by this. Most people injure themselves while training with it, and so on and so forth. When you're utilizing a tactical pen, again, it's a pen. You're very accustomed to using this in your daily life, okay? I can give you hundreds of examples, okay? So the way you hold it, the way you utilize it, where you store it, so on and so forth, you're very used to it, okay? That's why we use a tactical pen in a self-defense situation. Now, from the learning points in our class, we understand that when you have to use a tactical pen, okay, that means you're in trouble, okay? That means that either you're caught off guard, you're caught unaware, whatever it is, and you gotta utilize a tool, okay? It's always better, in my opinion, to utilize a tool than to utilize physical force, okay? So an example would be if someone asked me to nail a nail into a 2x4, okay? For me, utilizing a hammer is gonna do the job, okay? I'm not gonna make a fist and try to nail that nail into a 2x4, all right? It just makes life a lot easier. When we talk about self-defense tools, when we talk about OC spray, when we talk about a taser, when we talk about a tactical pen, these are all tools to make your job in defending yourself a lot easier. With that said, again, if you're using a tactical pen, they're at a very close distance to you, okay? Hopefully you would have the wherewithal, the awareness, the recognition to see your opponent, your possible threat further off so you can use longer range weapons. Regardless, we're gonna learn the tactical pen today, all right? So unlike a blade weapon, your tactical pen does not have a sharp edge to it. It has a point, which is your writing utensil, and it has a point in the back, possibly, for a window breaker, but it doesn't have a sharp edge to it. All right, again, making that legal, making it easier to use, so on and so forth. There are a lot of ways to use a knife. There are a lot of ways to use a pen, okay, as a self-defense tool. All right, but for my class, for what I teach my students, you're going to hold the pen in your dominant hand. So typically your writing hand, okay, with the sharp end or the writing portion pointing down, okay. The reason for that is your body in this position can generate more force, typically here, okay, than it can in this position. Just the way your musculature is, okay, just the way you're going against gravity, you're going with the gravity this way, all right? So we hold a tactical pen in this position versus in this position, all right? Because this is a point, we're using a stabbing motion going downwards. When you look at a fixed blade, okay, this is a training knife, okay, this is rubber on all sides, okay? I'm not going to injure myself. This is what we train with in class. When you're using a fixed blade weapon, you can hold it this way, okay? And you can hold it this way, okay? And we'll get into that when we talk about training with fixed blades. So again, bringing it back to what we're going to do in class. I'm going to have you practice with your tactical pen, okay? And I'm going to practice with my tactical pen, all right? So tactical pen is in my dominant hand. I'm right-handed. It's going to be in my right hand. Sometimes I'll see people when they're training with their tactical pen or when they're training with their knife, they're having their weak leg or their left leg forward, okay? That's a way you can do it. I'm not knocking it, but for my class, I'm going to have your strong arm forward and your strong leg forward, okay? The reason for that is you want your tactical pen or your tool as close to your opponent as possible, okay? As close to your opponent as possible. So side view here, if my opponent's in front of me, my pen is going to be a lot closer to my opponent, okay? Then if I have it shifted behind this way, okay? So if my left foot's in front and my tactical pen is back here, I'm going to really have to reach forward to try to engage or hit my target. Does that make sense? I hope so. With that said, my right hand is in the front, okay? It's really important that we practice footwork, okay, with this. And we're going to be using what's called a step and slide motion. Step and slide allows you to have good balance, okay? It's not the fastest footwork, but in my opinion, it's one of the most stable pieces of footwork that you can do. So let's work on that. Step and slide. My tactical pen is in my right hand. My right foot is forward. Stepping and sliding, okay? So imagine your opponent here, hands are up, nice and relaxed, okay? Nice and relaxed. My chin is down, okay? My knees are bent. My feet are not too wide. That makes me really slow. My feet aren't too narrow. I could be thrown off balance here, okay? My feet are just a little bit wider than hip width, and my knees are very relaxed, okay? Slightly bent. This allows me to move forward and backward and side to side at a relatively controlled pace, also a faster pace, all right? So, step and slide. I'm going to take a step with my front foot, and I'm going to drag my rear foot or slide, okay? Notice my starting and ending position, my feet are approximately the same distance. That's going to take a little bit of practice on your part, and eventually you'll get there, okay? Step and slide, step and slide. When I want to go backwards, I'm also going to do a step and slide. Step and slide, step and slide, okay? I'm going to step and slide 2 forward, I'm going to step and slide 2 back, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, forward and backwards. You can also step and slide from side to side. Okay, so from this position here, back a little bit so you guys can see. I'm going to do 2 to the right and then 2 to the left. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's important that you have your heels off the ground. Okay, again, that allows for a faster speed. Okay, from moving from point A to point B. All right. If your feet are flat, typically you move slower. Okay, but you have more control. So there is a give and take right there. For our class, heels are up off the ground. One more time. 2 right, 2 left. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Forward and back. Right and left. That's your basic footwork. Okay, basic footwork for the tactical pen. Let's talk about offense first. Okay, we're going to have 5 major strikes. Are there more? Of course. There's a lot of fancy strikes. There are a lot of unconventional ways of utilizing the tactical pen or even the blade. For our class, we're going to use the basics. In a lot of things in martial arts or in self-defense, the basics are what really work. Okay? 5 strikes. First one, diagonal down. 1, stepping and sliding in. 2, you're forming an X for the first 2. Okay? 3 comes from the side. 4 comes from the side. And 5 pushes straight into the middle. Okay? One more time. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stepping and sliding all the way through. Stepping and sliding all the way through. All right? What are those targets? What are you aiming for? Okay, here, 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 and here. Those are your major striking points, okay, on your opponent's body. Why don't I go for the eyes? Why don't I go for the neck? Why don't I go for this? Why don't I go for that? Okay? Typically speaking, this range of motion is very comfortable. It's a smaller range of motion. These targets are big, making it a lot easier to execute these movements during a high stress situation. Okay? Are these vital targets? Yes. You have your carotid artery here, you have your lungs, and then you have your diaphragm and or your heart, depending on how high or how low you strike. I hope that makes sense. So, are these points still valuable targets? Definitely. Okay. Would striking the eyes or the groin be good as well? Yes, it would be. But again, with a tactical pen, you are using a puncturing motion, a stabbing motion. We're utilizing these areas. Okay. A lot easier to hit. Okay. A lot easier to take your tactical pen back. Okay. So right foot forward, right hand forward, chin down, relaxing the shoulders. Heels are off the ground, step and slide. A lot of things to remember. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 basic strikes. 5 basic strikes. Let's talk a little bit about defense. Let's talk a little bit about defense. Now, next week, we're going to go over partner-assisted training. For right now, I want you to practice this on your own, hopefully in front of a mirror. Okay. I have no tactical pen. I have no blade, no edged weapon. And an edged weapon is coming at me. Okay. It's really important that I defend myself appropriately. What I mean by that is, if an edged weapon is coming towards me, it's important for me to block that weapon with the bone side of my arm, the bone side of my arm. Why is that? Well, it's a little bit harder, okay? In addition to that, if I use the flesh part of my arm, I can get cut, I can cut an artery here, and I can lose a lot of blood that way, okay? So again, bone side is out. When you're blocking here, for our class, I'm going to be in a traditional fighting stance. Same footwork applies, except my strong arm is not forward, my weak arm is forward. Okay, my weak arm is forward. My left foot is forward, my right foot is back. My left hand is forward, my right hand is back. Why do I do this? I do this because hopefully I have a tool in my pocket that I can reach for, okay? And I can utilize that. I'm more comfortable in this traditional position without a tool, all right? And it's a defensive position for me. So I think of my right hand forward as offensive, right hand back is defensive for me, okay? Hands are up in this position. What I want to do is when I block, I don't want to block with the right angles here. Blocking at right angles means that when you absorb the edged weapon, it's going to stick in that bone. It's going to cause a lot of damage, okay? In addition to that, you're going to feel a lot of impact, a lot of that force, okay? So you want to have at least a 45-degree angle, 30 to 45 degrees here. So when the edged weapon comes at you, okay, you either block a bone to their limb, okay, and their limb can slide down, okay, or you can get a little bit of that blade into your bone, okay, and let it glance off instead of absorbing the whole shock, the whole force of that, okay. When you're stepping and sliding, you're reducing the impact of the force that's coming towards you, okay? So as someone is coming in for a strike, you're meeting them with a step and slide, and then you're blocking, reducing the amount of force that is applied to your body. If that makes sense. All right, so let's talk about blocking. So blocking is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. What did I just block? I just blocked the 5 major strikes, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm stepping back for the 5th one. We'll talk about more advanced techniques, advanced tactics for strike number 5 in a later video. Once again, defense, 1, 2, 3, bone out, 4, and stepping back to defend against the 5th strike. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Review the video, rewind, play it over and over again, and practice.